Well, hello everyone. Welcome back with another video on the unfortunate subject of the Fender cease and desist letter that I had done a video on last week. And unfortunately, in that video, of course, I mentioned how one of my favorite guitar brands, Dean, had become the target of a lawsuit from Gibson Guitars, and now my other favorite guitar brand, PRS, is now the target of Fender, as they have revealed that they received the cease and desist letter over their John Mayer signature style guitar, which of course is a Fender style body that they started building from a few years ago. Alright, so we have an article here. Let's get into this from Guitar World magazine online. The company disagrees with Fender's assessment. PRS has been hit by a cease and desist from Fender, bringing John Mayer's Silver Sky into the center of the S-style legal dispute. This has now become the highest profile case in the entire dispute and could well be one of the most hotly contested. As we know, PRS probably has some pull as big of a company as they are, and as recognizable and beloved brand that they are. PRS has been confirmed as one of the first that has received the cease and desist letter from Fender in its bid to enforce legal protections for the Stratocaster. After it was revealed that Fender had launched a new legal campaign to protect the Strat design off the back of default copyright ruling in Germany, speculation began to emerge over the identities of those affected. Until now, LSL Instruments was the first and only company to go on record to confirm it had received such a letter, which called for the company to halt production of the S-style electric guitar, the Stratocaster. I think I'm saying that right. A lot of weird names, I don't know where to get them from. The PRS Silver Sky, John Mayer's hugely popular best-selling signature guitar, which was designed after the Continuum mastermind left Fender, was high up on the speculated list. Now it's become confirmed via Wall Street Journal that PRS has indeed received a letter from Fender. In its own article, the Wall Street Journal, PRS Guitars, a company endorsed by the likes of John Mayer and Carlos Santana, confirmed that it is among the companies that received a letter. The company said it disagrees with Fender's assessment and declined to comment further. In a statement issued to Guitar World before the news went public, PRS said of Fender's legal campaign, "We are aware and investigating. No further comment at the time." The involvement of PRS and the targeting of the Silver Sky frames the entire conversation in new light and is a huge development in the S-style legal dispute. In Fender's response to the widespread backlash over the cease and desist strategy, the company strayed away from emphasizing the importance of the specific Strat body shape, stressing it was concerned with all the double cutaway two-horned guitars and was instead going after close copies of the Stratocaster design. And so this really opens up the discussion. I think, one of the big problems with this lawsuit, what do you do when you got someone like, big artists like John Mayer, you have a custom shop, you want to give them what they want. Of course, they built this because he wanted them to build this. They wanted to keep their, signature artist, satisfied with, them as a builder. Obviously, he was a fan of the Strat design bodies, as in more later years have a blues style, more of a blues style guitar playing versus his earlier stuff, which I think was a little more poppy. And we're getting this weird territory where, companies have been building these style guitars for decades now. I mean, and it seemed like even in the past, way before the first lawsuit, they had really no problem with it. It just was kind of, oh well, we're Fender, we're the top name. We should be able to. People are going to buy our guitars anyway. Now it's because they're falling behind and possibly their quality. They feel and making money. Like I said, you have these big investment firms and things like that buying these guitar companies, and you're looking at this way that go after these companies, make a quick buck, start making forcing people into their brand over theirs, and we just have a big old mess on our hands. So back in the article, as such, Fender is clearly banking on the similarities that can be drawn elsewhere, such as the pickguard, which mirrors the Strats a bit more closely, and other aesthetic considerations that give way to the outpouring of Stratocaster comparisons with it and comparisons when it was first released. This has now become the highest profile case of the entire dispute and could well be one of the most contested, through many would no doubt concede the. This has now become the highest profile case in the entire dispute and could well be one of the most contested, though many would not doubt concede the obvious similarities between the Silver Sky and the Stratocaster. Few would call it a direct clone, the type of model Fender is supposedly going after. I have to say too, when they PRS introduced the John Mayer model, I wasn't a big fan of that, and it was just like, yo, John, how can you come to like PRS when you have all these beautiful finishes of this stuff like this, like by guitar with that flame burst, and then you want kind of a basic looking Strat. Go figure. I'm not a big John Mayer fan either, so. To make matters more interesting, the Silver Sky has become a key player in the S-style market, wrestling over the huge portion of players into the ranks over the past few years. To make matters more interesting, the Silver Sky has become a key player in the S-style market, wrestling over huge portions of players into the ranks over the past few years. It is the Stratocaster's closest competitor, the SE variant, a direct rival to the Player range, the US model, a rival to Fender's more premium American-made Strat. According to Reverb stats, the Silver Sky outsold the Strat in 2022 and 2023, and has consistently been among the best-selling guitars for the past 3 years. Whatever the case, PRS has stated that it disagrees with Fender's assessment, implying it fully intends to fight Fender. It could very well define the entire legal dispute, and the outcome of Fender's cease and desist strategy could rest on this case. We'll bring you developments as they come. End of article. Yeah, so now I'm reading this, now I'm thinking about it. Might be a positive thing with, I think, as big as PRS is, big player. They may have Paul Reed Smith may have the power to actually push back and fight back and actually win this over, and I think that's a positive thing for other builders. And like it says at the end, and it's clear, it's outsold the Strat. People liking it better as a guitar, like a better quality. And that's where just this big problem is Fender's falling behind, so they now feel the need that, well, we're just gonna try to push other companies out of the marketplace, bully them out of there. And if anything, what do you think this is? Fender's right to say this. It looks incredibly bad on them. I don't think this is gonna end very well for them. It's gonna push more people out of their company from buying this thing. And people might, even though they like the Strat, they might just go with something else that's like a super Strat. And this is what happens. Like I said, this is what happens when these big, investment firms buy them out. They just look at it as a brand. Just like with Marshall, you got Marshall out here. They're trying to make Marshall like a lifestyle brand. They got Bluetooth headphones, Bluetooth speakers, stuff that aren't like guitar amps. Like one of the weirdest things I saw was Gibson pretty much made a Guitar Hero controller. And it's like, what are we doing? Who's making a Guitar Hero controller in the 2020s? Nobody. But yeah, this is not looking good for Fender. Uh, I hope that I know we all hope this. I mean, it's probably good content for me, but I hope this really ends soon on a positive note. And I think them going after PRS might help us out with that. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Like this video, share it, leave a comment, subscribe. I started migrating a lot of my guitar playing videos to another channel called VJ the Vigilant Plays Guitar. I also have VJ the Vigilant 2, which I share a lot of shorts. So if you like this, keep on playing. Y'all have a good day. See you later.